Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. It's that time again, the time in which I have to move away from the speaker that I have been using over the last 11 months now. It's big, bad boy, the Wilson Audio Chronosonic XVX. All I can say is the fact that it has been one of the most special components in my journey, in this audiophile journey. A speaker that will always be remembered as that one special piece that took me to the promised land. Many people have been here throughout the last 11 months and had the honor and pleasure of listening to this speaker. This speaker is not everywhere in the United States. You're not going to see it at every store, every location. You're not going to see it at a show. Wilson Audio told me that they will never put this speaker at any of the US shows. The only show in which I saw the speaker was over in Munich 2023. So this is one of the reasons why I ended up buying the speaker, so that I can spend intimate time with this magnificent loudspeaker. A lot of people in the industry had told me that this is indeed the best speaker that Wilson Audio has ever manufactured. Even those that have heard the Wham, which I have not heard, have told me that they prefer the Chronosonic XVX over the Wham. This bad boy is going to go to a new home in about 2 days from this video. It is a lot of work, 7 crates I believe, a lot of lifting, 700 pounds. I have to disassemble this with my friend Carlos, who you guys have seen here on the channel many times, and prepare to ship these speakers to its new home. It's bittersweet. Why is it bitter? Because it reminds me of what's possible at a whole new level, at a much higher price point, okay? It reminds me that things do indeed get better, okay? And it's sweet because I get to play with either this speaker or, follow me, what's hiding behind this blanket. And if you are paying close attention, they are just as tall as the Wilson Audio Chronosonic XVX that you have seen here. Okay, I am, just for reference, I am 6'1", so take a look at the height of the Chronosonic. Okay, which, let me show you, as I sit here and listen to music, the Chronosonic XVX had this tall sound that filled the room in every possible way. There was no one at all that sat in this chair or this chair that can honestly say they did not get a good representation of what the system is capable of. Everyone got a nice sweet spot. It was a phenomenal delivery of music. However, I have to say that it is sad for me. It definitely pains me to see these amazing loudspeakers go. But if you have been following me over the last 3 months and you have seen my live streams, you should know by now what this speaker is. Okay? If you don't, well, guess what? You are probably going to know this coming week what my next chapter will be. Once these Chronosonics exit the room, I will be in position to decide which is my next speaker. This one is another flagship loudspeaker from another brand, really good brand, I must say. And this one is a speaker that I never thought I would buy. But let me tell you why I embarked on buying this speaker. When I sat over the last 12 months or 11 months to listen to this Chronosonic, I got spoiled and used to being right on the first row of the performance. Big, tall sound, right? That completely surrounds you. And unfortunately, right now, this is a preliminary feeling, guys. Very preliminary, what I have to say here. This speaker, as you can see, look at the size, right? It's about this tall. Next to the Chronosonic is about this high. I hate to say it, but I feel like I'm missing sound over here. And that's bugging me right now. It is bugging me the fact that my room now, I don't feel anything is happening anymore in this area, which is what these bad boys spoil me with, right? This has a mounted tweeter here too that creates more of an ambient, right? And so I don't want to give up on these just yet. I still want to play with them some more. But if I find out that I am simply unable to go back to a regular size speaker, a speaker of this size, although it's large for some of you, okay? For me, it's not really a big speaker anymore because I've owned this now, right? I can say to you that if I cannot live with this, even though it's a flagship speaker and it sounds phenomenal, this is a phenomenal, magnificent loudspeaker too. But if my mind, my heart, my ears are telling me, Jay, sorry, boy, we need to be on that first front row of the performance, the way the Chronosonic XVX deliver it, then you will not see this speaker on my channel. This probably will go silent and it will just disappear, and I will make a transition over to this one. Now, this is a speaker that I have never owned, this brand right here. This is a brand that is, let's just say, highly efficient, over 90 decibels, close to 95 dBs. Highly efficient loudspeaker right here, even more efficient than the Chronosonic XVX, which are about 91, I believe. So I have to make a judgment call based on what checks my boxes. I have to make a judgment call based on the direction in which I want to go. What's cool about the Chronosonic essentially is the fact that if you find the loudspeaker perhaps a little too bright with the electronics that you have, instead of you getting out there and buying warmer cables, warmer electronics, sources, you can actually fix that problem by using these levers over here, right? You can actually correct some of that. You have a hell of a lot more options with this loudspeaker than any other Wilson audio speaker. And what I mean by that is that gives you also this feeling that you are oftentimes chasing your tail because you don't really know, does it sound better in this setting, that setting, the other setting? There's so many different things you can do that you are like, I'm just confused. So that kind of happened to me a little bit, but to be fair, I try to stay away from playing with those settings as much as possible, because if not, it never ends, right? I never end. So then what happens is I end up never listening to the speaker, but tinkering with it. And so I'm trying to stay away from that mentality. I wanted to set it up where I thought it sounded best, where I thought it delivered all the performance, all the massive soundstage, all the nuance, all the detail. I just felt like there was no need for me to mess around with all of this stuff, okay? Because it gets to be too much. But some of you love all the flexibility that this speaker has. Speaking of flexibility, this port right here, it's a rear port, okay? I have it plugged. And if you see here, this is the front port. That's the way it sounded the very best in my room. The bass seemed to cover the room much better. There was better impact throughout the low registers. When I tried that rear port configuration, I didn't like it. I felt as if I was missing this grunt that the speaker is capable of delivering, okay? It is a huge speaker. It is a speaker that, if you have the budget, if you have the money to buy, I 100% recommend you do so. I do not regret this purchase one bit. If I could keep it, believe it or not, I would. But the reason why I cannot keep it is because you all, my audience, gets very tired of the same thing. Most of you have said, Jay, can we hear something else other than Wilson Audio? And yes, this is not a Wilson Audio speaker. And clearly, this is not a Wilson Audio speaker. These are brands that you have never seen on my channel. Okay, so I've heard your voices, and I'm finally going to deliver on that promise of bringing you a speaker that is not a Wilson Audio and that is not a Magical. And that way, those of you in the comment section cannot continue to create these narratives about me always doing Wilson, always doing Magic, okay? 2024, I'll bring you something different, a brand you've never seen, and we're going to explore it. I don't know what it will be. That or this, don't know. Time will tell. With that said, tell me. I want to hear from each and every one of you. Have you ever owned speakers this tall? Okay, whether it be panels, magnet pans, electrostatics, you name it. And then attempted to go back to a regular size loudspeaker in terms of height and felt as if you were still missing information here, and you simply couldn't do it again. You had to go back to another tall loudspeaker. Has this ever happened to you? It is happening to me. It pains me, but I have not given up on these yet. I still have a few days to go to try to move them around, to try to see if they even get better sounding after my Chronosonic XVX have left the room. Have you ever gone from a tall speaker to a short speaker only to feel disappointed and you having to make a move back to a tall loudspeaker? Comment below, let me know, and get ready because the moment is finally here. Next week, you will know what that next reference speaker is once these Chronosonic XVXs have left the room. Please subscribe and do not forget to follow me on Instagram, okay? It is important because the identity of this next loudspeaker will probably be unveiled first on my Instagram account. Talk to you soon. Take care.